A great day, everyone. My name is Chris Weber. I'm the industry leader for public at Iron Mountain. And yeah, it's great to be talking to so many people and seeing that a lot of universities and a lot of people are attending the webinar. Um, I have the pleasure today to talk about the Paperless University and our experience with this approach and the strategy that leads to a paperless university. So yeah, I will be discussing a few external factors that universities will be facing, the benefits that are coming from paperless university. So yes, I would say let's jump into that. So yeah, I've already brought some info about myself. I've been gladly doing this for the past 10 years, helping industries like federal governments, local governments, universities, hospitals, etc., to digitize and to utilize their data. Basically, this will be also one aspect that I will be talking about at Paperless Universities. And yes, just starting with the external factors that we identified for universities in general. As you might know, the birth rate, especially in many developed countries, is decreasing. This also leads to colleges closing 4 times more than in the past 10 years. So there will be less graduates that will be starting at universities. Also, student loans are getting bigger and putting a lot of pressure on students. So these are basically existential threats to today's universities. And just in general, the digital transformation, how do you benefit from it? So just in general, first of all, especially with the young generation growing up with a mobile phone or a smartphone, they will be attracted, especially if you can show them that you're digitized, that you're going with the new technology, and that you are basically also cutting edge in this regard. There will obviously also be many operational efficiencies that will come from going digital, which I will be stressing a bit more on the later slides. And as well, also the environmental and sustainability advantages that you will gain. This goes hand in hand also with yes, using less energy, etc. So this doesn't also help you as an organization, but also the environment will benefit from going digital in this regard. To go digital, we have also defined 5 reasons why to do this. I've mentioned a few benefits already. But the reasons for you specifically to go digital, first of all, it's cost saving, especially handling paper. You will have very complex processes. A lot of manual work has to be done. So these are processes that benefit a lot from efficiency gains. So there will also be cost savings with that. Also, by going digital and having the information stored on the papers and on the documents, to have it searchable will also increase data accessibility and usability. Obviously, you will be able to search for specific keywords that are on papers and documents, which you haven't been able before, while it used to be on paper. The third point will be, that goes hand in hand with the first point, cost savings. There will be also accelerated business processes. As mentioned before, going with paper is a very complex and cumbersome process. So by going digital, as I said before, there will be a lot of gains in efficiency and speed, processing all the documents, document workflows, etc. The fourth point will also be a stronger security and compliance. A paper might seem safe, but it's not a safe option. Um, so yeah, things can get stolen, especially it's difficult to control access to certain papers and documents, and it will be a lot tougher with digital. You have a lot finer. Let's say you can really be very detailed in who has access and how long, etc. So there will be a better security structure in general with digital documents and information. Also compliance, this will help a lot with compliance as well, because you have better control over when has a document been created, when does it need to be deleted. So this will be, compliance in that regard will also be easier and therefore also better. The fifth point will be also better student experience. As I said before, especially younger generations, they like to go digital and they're used to going digital. So they will benefit and they will really enjoy this experience as well, having their documents and everything that they need at hand on a web portal or maybe also on a mobile. But also your employees at faculty and the staff will also have a better work experience by using digital processes and documents. So the first thing that I want to focus on are the cost savings that can be gained. So as I mentioned before, paper-based operations are very costly. They're time intensive and very labor intensive. They also take up a lot of real estate, and especially when you have to store documents for a certain amount of time, then this will be a very big cost factor at some point. And this is driving also many organizations that have to store a lot of documents, is driving them to go paperless. Also, colleges, due to their researchers, etc., and students creating a lot of documents, they have to store vast amounts and volumes of documents. So this is the first point with the cost saving is especially true for universities. And the institutions that we have worked so far with, they reported a $30,000 gain in savings per department on storage costs for the first year after scanning. So this is quite a big number. And just to give you an overview of the amount of paper that has to be handled, we have a number here that we can say that around 32 billion sheets of paper schools are using. So if you count 5 cents per sheet, then this amounts to 16 billion just in costs for all the schools. So yeah, I think the cost savings, that will be one of the big factors that we should mention here. The second one that I also already talked about is data accessibility and usability. As I mentioned before, especially for research, you want to be able to access those research papers and make them retrievable. So by going digital, you enable students and scholars to access those documents from anywhere in the world. Also, what I've mentioned before is by going digital and using intelligent document processing that recognizes text like OCR scanning, for example, and keyword creation, you will be able to for each and every scan that you will do, you can enable OCR scanning, making the document searchable, You can also create keywords using AI based on the text and the information that is on the document. So you not only make it accessible anywhere in the world, but you also make it searchable, and the information is a lot more retrievable than if you would just rely on the paper version. So yeah, that's the number two in the reasons to go paperless. For the third reason to go paperless, we have included some of the processes that includes this kind of step is, for example, using e-signatures. You can have forms management. So to create digital forms, for example, for student enrollment. So using these kind of tools we're talking about for business processes. And using these kind of tools will also enable you to take advantage of workflow automation tools, meaning that if you have a digital form, let's say a student enrollment form, then immediately after the student has filled in their details, you can create workflows where this document has to be sent to. So which team in your organization now needs to retrieve this document, maybe also needs to approve of the document. So you can create document workflows and approval workflows. This allows basically many processes for documents to be organized without any manual intervention, and also this helps by automizing it via software. It also helps prevent any errors that might occur, or any maybe lost documents. So it's not only making the process faster, but it's also helping to avoid any errors and mishandling of papers and documents. The fourth point that I wanna speak about is especially also stronger security and compliance. I mean, especially with universities, you're working with a lot of sensible data, like personal identifiable information, for example. But also, as I said before, paper seems secure at first glance, but it is not, because control to paper is sometimes difficult to basically handle. So documents can be misplaced, paper can be misplaced and fall into the wrong hands. Also, as I mentioned before, with regulatory compliance, with paper, it's also more difficult to adhere to compliance, because you need to have an overview of each and every sheet of paper when it has to be, or when it was created, when it has to be shredded, for example. So by going digital, there's a lot more information that can be gained from digital documents. And it can also be managed a lot easier because you have the metadata of each and every document. So you can be notified each and every minute which document has to be shredded, for example, or deleted. Also with IDP, how we call it, Intelligent Document Processing platforms, they also provide a lot more secure framework when it comes to adhering to compliance and guidelines. And the fifth and last point that I want to talk about is also you have to think about your students as, I would say, customers, and making the student experience better also benefits you as an organization. So for going paperless, this offers a unified and seamless student experience, meaning that you will have a central platform and portal where students can access all their documents that they need, for example, like the enrollment documents. They will also have an option or the possibility to hand in their abstracts and their papers, for example. So they can upload it there. Also, this gives the students better insights, like who is working on their documents at the moment. They can get insights and support from teachers and advisors. Um, and um, and yeah, as I mentioned before, with less students enrolling to university, competition is getting tougher, especially in an uncertain economy. And you want to keep your students happy, and so offering this kind of seamless integration and experience will benefit not only the students but you as an organization as a whole. So, what are the steps to going digital? Here we have built a small checklist that you can go through internally. So, first step that you should be doing is to yeah, basically get your house in order. You should have, or you should, if you haven't yet, you should take an inventory of the paper records that you already have. You should find out what are the outdated files um, that you have to shred or dispose of. So to get an overview of all the papers in your house, when do they have to get shredded, etc. pp. And also for other records, yeah, make a note why you have to store them, and also when they have to be destroyed. So if you don't have this information, then you should be getting this for each and every document that you have. Also, step two, if you have gotten an overview of your paperwork that you have, then step two should be choosing a starting point. So you shouldn't start with the most complex project at first. You should take small steps. Also take a project that has noticeable results and generate a true impact. So you don't want to go digital with documents that have no impact on your processes or on the experience of the students. So the idea is to maximize return and also generate an internal momentum. So the project should have a viable size. It shouldn't be too complex, but it should have let's say a noticeable impact on what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve. Step three would be to define your success. What do you define as a success? So you should be creating key metrics that you want to achieve. Um, uh, these success factors, they should be meaningful and achievable. So don't set the bar too high with the success that you want to have. And also these success factors should be measurable. So you should be defining the KPIs that you wanna set for yourself, and you should be tracking also these metrics. The fourth point is also building a business case. So you should be gathering information, around numbers, especially regarding your organization, and you should be also aligning the goals that you have with going digital to the broader organization goals. So this shouldn't be a project that is just within your department, but it should be part of the overall strategy of your organization as a whole. The fifth and last point is put together a team. So you should be assembling a small team within your organization, especially or specifically with other functions as well. So it shouldn't stay within your department alone. So go for a cross-functional team of stakeholders. Also get approval and get the support of your leaders. as well as also of your employees, because this will impact everybody's work. So also get the go basically and the green light, not only from your leaders but also from colleagues that will that will experience the impact of this project. First of all, especially these teams you should be including should be IT, because going digital obviously also involves digital tools for that in IT. You should also involve legal as well as operations, just for some start. So the steps of going digital or of going paperless is first of all the conversion, of the physical documents to digital, meaning just digitizing the physical records. Also, as I mentioned before, the optical character recognition in order to make the content of the documents searchable. So this is always the first step to convert your physical documents to a digital version of it. The second step is also to encrypt sensitive data. So especially any personal identifiable information, for example, as well as financial documents. They should be encrypted first before storing it onto a digital storage. You should also not forget, it shouldn't also not only be encrypted on the storage, but it should also be encrypted during transmission. This is something that most hackers will use as a first trying to get into is trying to get into the transmission part of information handling. So don't forget to also encrypt during transmission. The second one is the storage of the data, so it should be securely stored. As mentioned before, in terms of security and compliance, control over who has access to the data can be very defined or very precisely defined for digital documents. So go for role-based permissions, so that if you have an employee that just needs access to a certain amount of documents, then also give them only this kind of access to these documents. So each role should have their own set of documents and not have access to all of them. The next step would be automation. So as soon as you have the digital versions of your documents at place, once they have been scanned and ingested to your digital storage and you have them at hand, they are available basically for any automation. So if you, let's say, have a bill coming in as a letter, and you have it digitized, then you can go and also, as mentioned before, if you have OCR scanning and you know that the software can already recognize that this is a bill and it's addressed maybe to a specific person or to a specific department, you can set up automation rules for these kind of documents. So you can start working on workflow automation. You can build workflow and approval workflows. So this is the first step of automation, the handling of those digital documents, as well as approval steps that have to be taken for certain documents. And the second one, the last one, the fifth one here in this chart is the access to information. So you have already role-based permissions in place. Now you can also start rolling out the documents for students to access. So you can start building a portal and a front end from which any, let's say, either employee or a student can access documents that are relevant to them. but you can also, as mentioned before, you can start enabling form management so that each person that has access is also able to create new documents and upload them. The information access is basically the last step that you can start here. That one thing that we have mentioned here is obviously for teachers, it's also great to get insights from the data. And to track them against historical averages. So yeah, for going paperless, our ask is choose the right partner for this. Iron Mountain is a global business dedicated to storing, protecting, and managing information and assets. So we work, with many enterprises globally, 95% of the Fortune 1000. Also with many government agencies for more than 60 years. To give you some numbers of Iron Mountain, we have more than 1,400 facilities. We cater to 230,000 customers in 63 countries. So we have a lot of insights into what makes these organizations successful. So we bring a lot of experience to the table. We have in total 94 imaging centers worldwide, and we scan 1.5 billion documents every year. So in terms of experience, I think there's a lot that we can bring here. Also, our approach to sustainability. We are powering 100% of our energy that goes into our data centers is renewable. And also, we are a trusted partner for any business critical information, or fine art, for example. So companies and people entrust us really with their most important documents and work. So yes, also we are working together with AWS as one of our strategic partners. So obviously, everything that you've heard before, you can use on premise if that's a necessity for you. But we would encourage you to use our cloud solutions on AWS. So and also AWS is an AI expert in this regard. So they have world-class infrastructure. We are using them for many of our projects, especially when it comes to big storage and the storage that you might have on-prem might get filled quite quickly. So if you're going to the cloud, then we suggest you go also with AWS. As I said, it's our strategic partner. If you're already working with AWS, feel free to reach out to their customer management and mention us. We are working very closely together, so they will also reach out to us if there is any digitization project that should include cloud infrastructure. One last thing to mention, here I have some more information. So you can have a look at our success stories, maybe see if other organizations have had similar projects to the ones that you're planning to do. Also our knowledge center. So yes, I think we have a few great sources that you can use. Feel free, as I said, to have a look as well as to reaching out to us.